I want to talk to you today. Of course, we're at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, talk about electronics. Really, I want to talk about how the technology that has driven us away from high-quality music is maybe now starting to turn around and bring us back to high-quality music. Do you feel like that's a theme here?
Well, I think with the demise of the iPod, which now people, of course, Apple has it in the phones and it has it everywhere else, so they really don't need that. But I think it's more, that represents people kind of discovering that MP3s suck.
Yeah.
And that it was great to have thousands of songs, but the fact that you could only recognize them and couldn't hear them made it so you really weren't experiencing music.
How did you notice that people weren't really enjoying your music as much as they once were? What were the tip-offs?
The entire record industry took a dump.
Yeah.
And I mean, I look at it like if you're selling food and you take all the goodness out of the food and it tastes awful, but you sell it for less money, it's not that interesting.
Right. So you decided to take matters into your own hands.
Yeah.
And you decided to create a high-resolution audio player, Pono player, obviously a big crowdfunding hit.
Yeah, but it's not just the player. The player is only half of the equation.
Right.
The player is the best player on the market.
Yep.
You look at the reviews for this player, it sounds better than everything else in its class and better than anything else 3 times as expensive as it.
Right.
So it is a stone winner
as
far as the reviews go here at CES and everybody who's heard it.
Do people have to buy their entire Neil Young catalog all over again? Is there a...
No, they can play what they got in this, but it's not going to sound as good as a high-res file. If they got a CD, they can rip it and put it in.
Right.
But if they want to get something that they've never had before, they're going to have to buy what they've never had before, which is a high-res file, which sounds like God. I mean, that's it. You know, you can't get better than that, and that's what this allows you to hear it.
Now, if I take this and plug my crappy little white earbuds in there,
It'll sound better.
You think it will?
Oh, I know it will.
But what?
Because garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
Okay, you had an iPhone before, you got put your buds in.
Right.
You plug your iPhone in, you play it. You take the iPhone out, you plug this in, and listen to the same song. It's like night and day.
So you have like over 70 different records on iTunes right now. I stopped counting last night at 70.
I lost track.
Yeah. What about them? Are you knocking on their door and saying, I want my music in higher resolutions there?
Where, at iTunes?
At Apple, yeah.
They can't play it back.
Well, they could work on that if someone like you.
Hey, if they want to do that, I hope they do it.
Yeah.
But if they don't, you know, they're going in the other direction.
So you think they're not really?
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to them about it. I spoke with Steve Jobs while he was still on the planet, and I got a good picture of what he wanted to do. He listened to vinyl.
Yeah.
So he listened to vinyl in his own house. So he knew what good music was. He was a little confused by the fact that so many people liked the iPod.
He was.
It's like if you were Picasso and you were in your room painting and you'd only had black and white and sepia tone paint.
Right.
And you had to paint through a screen.
Right.
And then somebody came in and took the screen away and gave you a full palette of colors. You'd be ecstatic, and that's the way the artists are.
So 5 years from now, do you think this will be a feature in my phone? It will be something in my car? I mean, will we finally get back? That's kind of how I started this conversation with you.
Yeah.
Is technology bringing us back to high resolution?
It's the 21st century. Technology's job in our civilization is to make life better. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to do.
It rarely does. I mean, walk around.
It's possible. With these devices, you have a chance to have freedom of choice.
Right.
Before, we didn't have freedom of choice. We had MP3s. They suck.
Yeah.
So a lot of people stopped listening to music.
Right.
I was one of them. I would not listen to that. I don't listen to streaming, don't listen to MP3s. It's no good. So, and that's just me. I don't like it.
And what do you
But if you've never heard anything else, music is great.
Yeah, that's true.
But I am jaded.
You've heard the best.
I've heard the best,
yeah.
And I want everybody else to hear it. So that's what this is about.